Hello, everyone. Wow, it's been so long. Today is April 20th. Nice. Um, Good stuff. Time now is not measured by days, but rather time is measured by hair length because no one can get their hair cut. That's the only way I know time has passed. Okay, but enough about me. Let's talk about this. So, sorry that I'm so behind on the grading for things. I've been wrestling with sickness and just the same level of I don't want to do anything as everyone else. But I am going to get to it today, and thank you all for those who reached out to point out great things. Yeah, nothing I can say except I'm trying, just like you're all trying to, and we'll get there. Okay, so we're gonna start building today. This week is all focused on building a practice application, a practice game, something that is more complicated than most of you will want to do for the create task, but something that fully hits those marks. Remember that the create task is now effectively the last major thing we have to do together that we'll be working on all of May. It'll be a lot of checking in, like one-on-one or small group conferences with me and all of you, or small groups of you at a time to check in on your individual projects. This is to prep for that. This is to summarize all the programming we've done. Everything I'm doing is to get you to that point. I'm not trying to prepare you for a test anymore. I'm trying to prepare you to be able to build an app on your own. So we're going to be building this week an app called the Color Sleuth. For those who may not know, the word sleuth means detective. So it's a game where you have to guess which color is slightly off, and you get some points. And there's a 2-player game, and it's pretty cool. So it shows you a lot of the cool stuff you can do based on everything we've done so far. So we're going to this is going to be divided up. The content's going to be divided up into 4 different days. And then Friday, when we meet for our mandatory Zoom day, will be a day of like breaking out into small groups to check it with each other before the final grading happens. So that'll be the day to get caught up. That'll be the day to ask questions. And I figured out how to do the small group stuff, but one day at a time. So it's going to be how can we build a basic game board for our example create task project. This could be a Google question. This is your progress towards this. Create this. We're doing the practice performance task, the practice PT, like we used to do in class. So this is what should be done today. We're going at a much slower pace than we would in class together because we can now. And I don't want to overwhelm you because I'm not there to help. So basically half the speed we normally would do. And then the full project, just so we're all on the same page, the full project will be due on Friday. But I've planned it out so that, again, it shouldn't take more than 20 to 40 minutes each day, including the time it takes for you to watch this video. So I'm going to go through and walk you through exactly what needs to be done. Then we'll have the Google question. Before we get there, here's the overview for the rest of the marking period. The marking period ends next Thursday. So any late work I'm happy to accept until then. So here are the major assignments that are still left. We have this practice PT we're working on this week. That's the Color Sleuth game. This is a large content task grade. This is probably the category most people, if anything's bringing down your grade, it would be this category. So this project should help a lot of people. There'll be the daily progress you make will be part of a classwork grade. This is like your Google check-in question category, basically. And then we will have one more something in assessment category. It'll be a 10 question instead of 20. It'll be a 10 question programming test that will be either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. We'll review Monday at least. I'll get a sense of where we are on Friday in our live class. But we'll prepare for it on Monday and or Tuesday, and then we'll take the test on Tuesday or Wednesday. The market period ends on next Thursday. Cool. So this is the part that we'll be going through today, and that's what we're going to do now. So in lesson 10, unit 5, lesson 10, it's long, but it's because it breaks apart designing a game from scratch, basically from nothing, all the way to a fully functional game, step by step. That's why it looks so long. Normally when we're in class, I do this as little dialogues because it's basically, it pretends like it's a partnership between two people, and it walks you through the thinking process in addition to the actual coding, which is both silly in some ways, but also incredibly helpful because it's the type of like questions that someone might ask. And the program itself is the answer to that. In the spirit of that, I'm going to ask for the help of, two people I just happen to have on hand here. So they'll be able to help us out. Planning an app. First, as the narrator, let me read through this. I am going to read through it. So it's an audiobook for you. Planning an app. We're going to walk through several phases of development for an app that uses if statements and conditionals in various ways. The goal is to follow a creative process from beginning to end to see how ideas come to life, as well as to use your new knowledge of if statements. To do this, we will follow a discussion between two characters, Michael and Alexis, who work together to share ideas about how to design the app and write the code. Of course, you will be the one actually writing the code, but following Michael and Alexis will give you some insight into the development process. Let me introduce my two friends. Come over here, please. Please don't stop watching. This is Michael, and this is Alexis. Take it away. Hi, Alexis. I want to make an app. Can you help me think through it? Be my thought partner? Of course. Wait, I have to change the voice. Of course. Happy to. What have you got? So I want to make an app that tests people's perception of color difference, but I want to make it like a little game. Here's a sketch I had in mind that I drew with my hands. And then we can look here and like, whoa, look at this. We got this game. This is what it's going to look like. This is a really good sketch. Wow, Alexis, you're a really good artist. Thank you. Please keep watching. This is the basic goal that we're going to get through. So like each player will take a turn. This square, I don't know if I think you can see my cursor. This square is a little off, so I would click it to get the point, and then you have other boxes that are different. And each time it's going to randomly change. So we have to generate some random colors. We have to have one square that's slightly different, and then we have to do something to show whose turn it is. But then we have some questions. How do we score it? +1 if you're right, -1 if you're wrong. How does it end? First to get 3, first to get 3 wrong. What else? So these are questions that you'll have, like the person designing the app doesn't know yet, but you'll get there. And then this is the general idea. So kind of sketch it out, and so this is what we're going to create. Wait. Oh, this is Michael's. This is Michael. Sorry, Michael, I called you Alexis. It's okay. Wow, this is a great sketch. I think I get it. What do you need help with? Well, how should I start? It seems to me that the first thing you probably want to figure out is how to generate the squares of color. Yeah, that is important. Nothing works without them. So tackle that first and worry about scoring and taking turns later. Okay, you're probably right. I had an idea how to do that when I noticed the set property command in AppLab. Set property? What's that? You know how in design mode you can set properties of a button, like its color, width, height, and so on? Well, with set property, you can do the same thing, but with code. I see. Cool. Here, look at the diagram. Continue to see the diagram. Don't hate me. Please, we've had some good times, right? Okay, here we go. Set property, it's basic. We'll see it. It's not a big deal. You can read through this if you want. But basically, what this code here would do under like 1, this thing I just highlighted would do. When I click on it, when this code runs, button 1, the background color of button 1 will turn to red. That's it. It's like the most powerful thing ever. You can even say, for this one, they changed it to RGB system. So like red, green, blue. The last one is like how see-through it is. So like red, green, blue. This is full red. So when button 1, when this code runs, sorry, I keep saying when button run. Like when you get to this block, it will change button 1's background color to be red. And then here, this gets us some complicated stuff right here. So they're setting a variable to be the color. We've never done something like this. And every year people get caught up on this concept. Nothing in the rulebook says a dog can't play basketball, right? Nothing in the rulebook, that's an Air Bud reference. There's nothing in the rulebook that says that you can't assign a variable to be a color. We'll just have to see how that happens. You will probably want to look back at this page as you work, and that's totally fine. So in number 4, you see what we're given. We're given something that does this when we run it. When we run it, it turns this right here into this dark orange. It turns one of the buttons here into the dark orange. Everything is built for us. We don't need to do anything in design mode. Nothing in design mode. The entire time. It's all code. So we have the board already set up for us. We have these little labels, and then you have this little back label that has a different background to show whose turn it is. Cool. So time to get to coding. This is the starting point for the whole project. We've started you out with all the UI elements in place. You'll work with this design and layout now. We've also started you out with some code, like 2 lines, that sets the color of one of the buttons. And you can see how set property works. But when I run the code, button 1, the background color of button 1 is going to change to the variable color. There's no quotes around color. So it's using a variable for color. That means it's going to be set to this color, which is a lot of red, RG, and a little bit of green, which forms orange. Ta-da! So what it wants you to do, use set property 3 more times to set the color of the other 3 buttons so that they are this orange color. Very easy. You're going to do 3 more of these set properties so that boom, 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 those buttons change. After you do that, you'll add 2 lines of code that look a little something like this. Now here is another thing people do. You're adding 2 new things. So after this is done, you should have a total of 5 set property commands when you're done. A common error is to only have 4. At the end of this stage, you should have a total of 5 because you're adding these 2 new lines. Here, you're adding that slightly different orange we saw in the original picture. So you're going to add the code exactly. It says something like this. It's trying to be funny. Just do literally this. We can read through this to see how it works. But the end result is that button 3 should be a slightly different. This one should be a slightly different color when this is run. Oh boy, more dialogue. Okay, great. Set property works. What's next? Well, I wanted to pick one of the squares at random to make the different colored square. Also, I want the color to be random, not just orange every time. Okay, well, I'm not sure about the colors yet. We'll do that tomorrow. But I do have an idea about how to choose one of the buttons randomly. I'm all ears. Yuck, yuck. I'm all feet. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Okay. Notice how all the buttons have IDs that are pretty much the same? Button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. There's a pattern. It's always button, quotes, button, plus some number. It's always this. Button plus some number. This is key. This is crucial. So I think we can use a trick we learned a while ago to build a string. A string like the ones okay, no puns, no bad jokes. Okay. I see where you're going. We can use random number as the number. This is going to be like a variable name. As the number, then just tack it on to the string button, and presto, we have generated one of the button IDs. Right, we can do something like this. Again, something, it's not something, it's literally exactly this. We make a variable called ran button ID, and it's going to be smushing together the text button, because it is quotes, so it's text, with a random number. We've done random numbers, random number 1 to 4. Then we can add into our existing code like this. This is your existing code, and then you're going to add in at the top of the code, right? Because var goes to the top. It's been a while, I know, but that's why we're doing this slowly. Var goes to the top. Var ran button ID equals literally this. And you just do it. That's it. So it's really guided. So right now you have a total of, before you start this one, you have a total of 5 set properties. You have another variable for diff color. I guess it's the last lines of code. Yeah, they're doing it after it. They didn't put it at the top for some reason. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so you'll be adding in this line of code. And what should happen is, so it's only one new line of code to make the ran button variable. And then the other change, make sure you do this. The other change is to replace button 3, where it says like you have the diff color stuff. You replace button 3 with ran button ID. That way, every time you run it, if it works, the different color, the slightly different orange one, should keep changing and keep popping around. And this is just some useful advice. If you have a problem, you can always add console logs whenever you want, and it doesn't change anything. It'll just pop up with stuff down here. So like if you feel free to throw in console logs anytime you want. It doesn't change the way the code works. It just sends you a message. Help, this is hard and I'm lost. Office hours every day. And if that doesn't work, one-on-one. I'm horrible at grading things on time. You already knew this before this crisis started, but I'm very good with offering my time to help. Hopefully you also knew that before this crisis started. So grading, I just hate it, but I really enjoy helping. That's why I'm a teacher. So this, I jump at any opportunity to do this. So please, 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 please let me know. Google question for today. This has gone on too long. So in your own words, what features did you add to the Color Sleuth game? This can be short, 2 to 3 sentences, or even just, I don't know. It doesn't even, no, 1 to 2. Just give me just something that shows me you processed mentally what you did today. Or the main thing is, what did you get stuck on? So if you got stuck on stage 5, you can say, I got stuck in stage 5, I can't get the color to change or something. And then that means that, I can look and I can either send you a chat message tomorrow, or I can give you some feedback or something. Yeah, oops, no, you're not supposed to see that. Okay, there you go. Miss you all, stay safe. This is too long of a video.